Ever wonder if someone around you is secretly loaded? It's not always the flashy cars or designer clothes that give it away. Today we're spilling the tea on how to spot the subtle signs that someone might be rolling in it without showing off too much. Stay tuned and you might just discover you're surrounded by millionaires in disguise. As always, please remember, we do not provide financial advice. The material covered is either for information purposes or for fun only. Now that's out of the way, let's dive in. First off, lifestyle choices. Rich people love their fancy cars and vacation homes, but here's the thing, some of them are sneaky. Sure, living in a high-end neighborhood and driving a car that looks like it costs more than your house are dead giveaways. But some wealthy folks live like they're in witness protection, keeping it low-key. Just because someone isn't flaunting it doesn't mean they aren't banking it. Next up, spending habits. Rich people aren't necessarily out there buying mountains of stuff. Oh no, they're all about quality over quantity. Instead of fast fashion, think more timeless pieces, those outfits that could survive the apocalypse and still look good. If you notice someone dropping serious cash at upscale shops or effortlessly shelling out for that 5-star meal, chances are they're not sweating their bank balance. If your friend is constantly jetting off to exotic locations or always lounging by a pool at some fancy resort, they're probably not just good at finding cheap flights. Whether it's first-class flights, private jets, or vacation homes, if their idea of roughing it is a 5-star hotel without a poolside butler, you've got a clue. Who they hang with can also be a clue. Wealthy folks tend to rub elbows with other wealthy folks. If someone's constantly posting about charity galas, high-end events, or mingling with people who have last names that sound like law firms, it's probably because they're in the same financial ballpark. Wealthy individuals love to talk about investments. They won't just mention how the stock market is doing, they'll casually drop hints about owning shares, properties, or businesses. If you overhear them discussing financial markets over brunch instead of complaining about rent, it's a solid sign they're financially secure. One of the best ways to spot a wealthy person is their philanthropy. If they're constantly donating large sums to charities or hosting fancy fundraisers, it's not just because they're nice. Chances are they have enough cash to give away without sweating it. Plus, if their name is plastered on a building or two, you can bet they didn't get there with coupons. You know that friend who's always impeccably dressed in clothes that fit like they were made just for them? Well, they probably were. If someone's always sporting tailored outfits, expensive accessories, and luxury watches, they might just be more than a regular at the local mall. Don't let their understated look fool you. Those bespoke suits don't come cheap. Did they casually drop their Harvard alum status in conversation or mention their private school background? Yeah, education can be a big clue. Many wealthy individuals have access to prestigious universities and exclusive networking opportunities. If someone frequently talks about their school connections or prestigious alumni events, it's likely they had a head start in the wealth game. Wealthy people don't stress over money the way the rest of us do. They see it as a tool for future goals, not something to hoard or spend impulsively. If your friend talks about financial planning like it's a hobby or drops tips on investments without blinking, it's a good sign they're financially comfortable. Sometimes wealth runs in the family. If someone mentions family estates, trusts, or having old money, it's probably not just small talk. Those fancy family businesses didn't start themselves, and they likely didn't get that vintage Rolex from a thrift store. Not all wealthy folks are showy. In fact, some go out of their way to blend in, keeping a low profile to avoid attention. They might dress like everyone else, but their behavior gives it away. If someone is a little too discreet about their financial status, always choosing privacy over parties, that could be their way of staying under the radar. Finally, career success. Doctors, lawyers, CEOs, they're not just working those jobs for fun. People in high-paying professions or those who own successful businesses tend to have more financial security. If someone is always receiving awards, growing their company, or switching careers without breaking a sweat, it's probably because they've got a solid financial cushion. So, how can you tell if someone's rich? It's not just about the obvious flashy things. From how they spend and where they travel to who they hang out with, wealth often shows up in more subtle ways. But remember, not everyone flaunts it. Sometimes the richest people are the ones who fly under the radar. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for hanging with me. If you liked this video, you're going to love the one on your screen right now. It's packed with even more great information for you to enjoy. Click it and we'll see you on the other side.